So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maryambey, and I am the CEO of Television. As most of you already know, I'm always excited when I say that. And my guest today will be Mr. Edwin Ortiz, who is the founder of the Returning Citizen Support Group. I'm so excited to have him to tell his story. And I'm also excited about the fact that we are broadcasting from the Akawaba Gallery here in Newark, New Jersey, in the West Ward of Newark, New Jersey, which is the ward that I live in. Thank you so much for having me to share the stories with you that we are about to share. And I just feel so blessed for the opportunity that the Creator has given me.
My name is Edwin Ortiz. I'm a native of Newarknj, New Jersey, raised in Columbus Homes Projects, one of the worst projects in the city of Newark. At the age of 18, I made some bad choices in my life, and during the course of an armed robbery, someone lost their life. I went to prison for 30 years. I was released in September. Of 2016. After coming home, I started the Returning Citizen Support Group, which is a group that focuses on supporting one another and creating a network so that we can help each other reacclimate back into society, but also become political in our process and changing the laws that exist in our community.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maryambey, and as most of you know by now, I am the host of Television. And you already know what I'm getting ready to do. I'm going to say I'm so excited because with every guest that I have, I'm always so excited because I have some of the most phenomenal guests. And today, my guest is Mr. Edwin Ortiz. And this is a brother that I have been working with for still like going about maybe 2 years now, right? Because we met, I think it was like in 2018, when you were interested in housing for brothers and sisters who were coming home from prison, like that was your forte, right? So today, we're going to talk about what Mr. Ortiz has been doing in our community to help brothers and sisters returning home from prison. So, Mr. Ortiz, just briefly introduce yourself.
Well, I want to say before I introduce myself, Ms. Bailey, I was very persistent in coming to meet you.
You were?
Yeah, they had to go to the bank. This guy keep coming back looking for me, Ms. Bailey. You came out, and I just wanted to make that known. But my name is Edwin Ortiz, and I came home in 2016 of September. I'm a native of Newark. I was raised in Newarknj, New Jersey. Columbus Homes Projects, one of the worst projects in the city of Newark. At the age of 18, during the course of an armed robbery, someone was killed, and I went to prison for 30 years.
Right.
Since I've been home, I've been working towards reacclimating myself back to society, living a productive life, and creating opportunities for other men and women who are coming home from confinement.
Yes,
So
yes.
one of the things that I've started since I've been home is the Returning Citizen Support Group, which is a grassroots organization. We're not funded, we don't get any money, it's just a group of men and women who have been formerly incarcerated, who have been home 10, 15, 20 years, who have been productive. Some of the men, Mr. Shabazz,
Yes.
Omar Shabazz,
Right,
and a lot
yes.
of brothers that come, street counsel and street doctor.
Yes.
And these are brothers that have been home and been living productive lives and have been contributing to their communities. So those are the brothers that I gravitate towards and creating a support group so that we can have a system of support for those men and women who are coming home who don't have support.
Right.
A lot of men and women coming home do not have a support system. So we are the support system. For example, with other brothers who are out in Canada, we started this meet them at the gate. So what we do is when we know someone is coming home and he or she doesn't have some support, we meet them at the gate. We're there waiting for them.
Yes.
And if they need clothes, they need, money, whatever we can help them with, we help them. We meet them at the gate and we let them know, listen, you're not alone. You're not going to face this challenge by yourself.
Right.
We're here. We've been out here, so we're going to help you navigate.
Who were there, they had been in prison for 30 or 40 years. And one of the concerns that I had, which I know that you had, is the fact that a lot of them have mental health issues. And this is something that we need to address. So I know that you had a program last week addressing that with Cookie.
Yes.
And so what are you all doing in that area as far as the mental health piece?
Yeah, well, I have several psychologists who have volunteered their services, so I'm in the process of coordinating and creating a space for the men and women who participate in the group to be able to get one-on-one counseling. As you mentioned, a lot of people that have been incarcerated suffer from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, prior to entering the prison system. And going into the prison system only compounded that problem further. So that's one example. A lot of the guys that I interact with in the group, we have problems with relationships, being in a relationship, because we have issues with trust. And we have issues with people telling us what to do, even though they're well-intended, but being in an environment that we came from in prison, where you have people constantly telling you how to do, when to do it, and so we feel like we're being controlled. So these are traumas that we suffer that we still have to adapt to. And I also came in contact with a professor, a psychologist out of Princeton. They're looking to assist us as well. So I'm networking and putting this together. I have Sister Maryambey Cooper. She's a psychologist. She came to our group 2 weeks ago, and she offered her services for free. And definitely, mental health is a very serious issue.
Yeah. What I know for sure is that you do not have to have gone to prison to have an issue, a psychological issue, trauma issue. It's us in general, because all of us go through something.
Yeah. But housing is still a very difficult issue in general. I've been home now 4 years, and I still deal with reject based on my criminal record, in spite of me being involved in the community, helping the youth, working with the youth advocate program, having the returning citizens support group. In fact, I have several men who are part of the group who are looking for housing, and because of their criminal record, or because they have a controlled dangerous substance conviction, they don't qualify for subsidized or affordable housing. So, but that's something that I continue to work on, and as a group, and in the supporting citizen support group, that's one of the issues that we focus on. Besides, creating a support system, we also want to become actively involved in the issues that are going on in our community.
Yes.
And most importantly, we want to make prisons unprofitable.
Yeah, and that's going to be hard to do because it's so political. However, with the group that you have, if you guys organize yourself politically, there is power in the numbers of the brothers who are part of the organization that will make a difference. Because we have to change these laws, because these laws are hurting us. And then once you've served your time, you should be able to be free to live where you want if you qualify for it. And one of the other issues that people have, and particularly brothers and sisters who come home from prison, is the fact that if they have a low credit score, the credit score also has something to do with that as well. Because I was talking to a brother just the other day. He said, Ms. Bay, I have been applying to these apartments. He's been paying the fees, the $120 or so fees, to application fee. And then when they find out that I have a record, or that my credit score is 500, then I don't qualify for it. So he said, now I'm at the point where I can't pay any more fees because I know what my score is. So now, one of the things I think that we need to do, because as you know, I work for the city of Newark as a reentry coordinator. And one of the things that I know that we have to do is start getting our mayors, our governors, involved with this, because they know what the issue is. It's not like they don't know. They know that we need these services. And I know with the city of Newark, we have shelters that we refer brothers and sisters to, but it's not enough, because very shortly we're going to have an influx of brothers and sisters who will be released York, and we have to be ready for them.
Yeah, well, housing is very frustrating.
Yes,
Especially like you said, you have somebody who's working, making $13, $12 an hour, and he has to pay a filing fee of $75 or $120 and lose that because he's being denied. But fortunately, with the support group, we have Brother Shabazz, as you know, he's been coming in and teaching the men about how to rebuild your credit.
right,
Because the reality is you have a lot of men who have been incarcerated when they were teenagers
right,
and spent the next 30 or 40 years incarcerated, and they have never learned about finances. They don't know how to budget.
exactly,
I didn't know how to budget. That's something that I'm learning. I'm building my credit, and I understand how important it is to have a 700, 750
yes,
score.
yes,
Before I didn't understand that. So that's something that we're working on, is helping the men build their credit and understand the importance of having a high score.
yes. Mhm.
Because
Okay.
like you said, it does affect and impact, when you go and apply for housing.
Mhm.
So if you don't have a decent credit score, the fact that you have a criminal record and have decent credit score really knocks you out of the box.
So one of the things that I noticed is the fact that a lot of brothers and sisters have attitudes, and I think the attitude has everything to do with accepting responsibility, and as you just mentioned earlier, how some of us have issues, in relationships, and if your attitude is closed, you're not open to listening to the material that we are providing to people to help them. And one of the things I want to say about you that you forgot to mention was the fact that didn't you go to Rutgers, or you were involved with Rutgers at some point regarding housing?
Well, when I first came home, that was something that I took on, which was housing, because when I first came home, I was filling out applications and filing,